Shalom, this is Amonute, Tayac of Piscataway, your friendly neighborhood Shuman, Sophia Spiritualite. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to have a discussion about the red heifers that are up to be sacrificed with this Libra new moon. This is a very, very interesting thing that's going on. I wanted to bring an update. I did do an update on Twitter that we're going to read first, and I wanted to make sure I put it into the ley line so that you all could be aware and abreast of what's going on. So let's go directly to the Twitter. You're free and welcome to follow me there. Okay. So I'm just going to read the thread and then I'll provide some commentary. All right. I dug into this whole red heifer thing for the third temple, and honestly, it's as crazy as it sounds. In order to build a temple, a perfect red heifer must be sacrificed, blood scattered, burnt to a crisp, and mixed with the ashes from the last 9 red heifers and used to purify the head priest during the next new moon. The full moon is on Monday, which is the 25th of March, 5784, which is the year of the red heifer. These red heifers for the sacrifice come from Texas, where the solar eclipse will be on 4/8. So, October the 7th happened because these red heifers were found to be in Israel, and where the temple is supposed to be rebuilt, there is now a huge mosque on the site. So the Jews are planning to do the sacrifice and destroy the mosque some way, essentially. There's a time limit on these heifers that they have left, because they have to be sacrificed within 9 months. And basically, this Libra full moon and Aries new moon fit the criteria, except there are eclipses, which means they probably shouldn't do this, but they probably will. But there's an elephant in the room. The red heifers, well, the heifers aren't red, they are copper colored, and they were found in America. So the sacrifice is really sacrificing the copper colored American woman. The ashes of the previous red heifers were found with a copper tablet. The fire that comes down on Pascha is green, indicating a copper presence. Everything about this screams copper colored Americans. If they sacrifice these heifers in secret on Monday with the full moon or Tuesday with the Sabbath, the Armageddon will commence. I just doubt it will have the desired effect. All right, so let's talk about this now that y'all have seen the thread. Those are the basic facts. I will link to the video that I watched 2 videos about this, and I had done some other looking around and digging around, and this is the conclusion that I came to. I want everybody to understand what's going on. This thing about who has to be sacrificed, the red heifers. Let me start with this. Jesus said there was to be no more sacrifices of flesh, that he was the sacrificial lamb, okay? And the fact that he was the quote-unquote sacrificial lamb, and there's such a huge emphasis on these quote-unquote heifers being red, there's no doubt in anybody's mind should be what the skin color of Jesus was. He would have been the same color as these as these heifers, without a doubt, okay? The red heifer you can also think of as the golden calf, right? These are similar themes within biblical texts about what is going on. Then go in there. What am I supposed to do about that? Oh, out. Hi. Okay, take that out, please. Close the door. Okay, these kids are off the hook. Just give me 1 second. I feel like you're gonna probably. All right. These red heifers have everything to do with the copper colored woman. Okay. Think of this as the golden calf. Now, we talked about the golden calf previously in relation to we as women turning our children into these golden calves that we sacrifice to. That was a video I made about almost 2 years ago now. In this case, what they're doing is they are taking what should be done in a very certain and specific way, as has been interpreted directly from the Bible and biblical texts, and what the instructions from the Talmud, right? Because the instructions for how this stuff goes is in the Talmud, right? So they took these instructions and they decided, listen, we are going to actually make this prophecy about us. So I was really surprised to find out that this whole thing with in the Middle East, that's this war is really about the fact that these professional victims unit people have these heifers there ready to sacrifice. And they know the time frame just as well as the quote unquote Jews know it. And therefore, there's no way of not ensuring that this stuff gets done the proper way. Like, they're making sure to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. So the Most High has actually rebuked them already and told them not to do this because there's an eclipse. There's an eclipse with this new moon. There's an eclipse with the full moon. And they have to use a new moon to do the sacrifice. And they use the full moon to do the sacrifice, and a new moon to make the new beginning. So this is what they're trying to confirm with their behavior, what they're doing, what they're planning. This is not going to be public from what I can tell. If they do this, it's going to be done in private. Now, the reason that's important is because, understand, we're in Ramadan right now. The Muslims and the Orthodox Christians are basically on the same schedule right now. So you have the Muslims fasting and also the Orthodox Christians are fasting. This is also a direct threat to the Orthodox Christians as well, and I'll get to that in a minute. But let's talk about the Muslims first. Where this third temple they think is supposed to be built, there's a mosque right there. So when they do this sacrifice, because they have to do the sacrifice at this location, you're talking about them killing an animal out front of a mosque in the middle of Ramadan. This is not going to end well, which is why I'm putting the highly suggesting that these people not do what they're about to do. I mean, I know they're going to do it, but it will be irresponsible of me not to say, please don't do this. This is not going to end well for you. This is all the signs are there telling you this is not the time to do this, that you'll have to try it again in however many years till you can get a perfect red heifer, and to just give this up, because the black woman is not to be sacrificed. And the reason why I say it has to do with the black woman is because heifers are women, are female cows, not male cows. And so you're literally talking about sacrificing women, copper-colored women on their altar. This is in place for that. Okay? So let me talk about the Orthodox Christians. Now, I found out, or I already knew this based on research from last year, but I'll just describe this in some more detail. When you add copper into a fire, it makes the fire green, which is why Venus, i.e., is on a green day. This is the reason why they could not do this sooner, because last year, Sabbath was on Friday, right? And so they could not do this. They couldn't sacrifice a copper-colored anything while Venus was the ruler of Sabbath. That would be an automatic no. Plus, Venus is actually the ruler of quote-unquote Israel's chart. So there's no way they would have done this during a Venus Sabbath. But now we have a Mars Sabbath. And so because Mars is the Sabbath for this year, they will use that energy to force this to be done. This is what they're going to do. And so, why does the copper matter? So when you mix fire with copper, you get a green flame. Every year during Pascha, except for I think 1 year it didn't happen, a fire comes from the heavens. It is green, and it lights inside of the tomb where they laid our brother Yeshua, and the patriarch of Jerusalem or whatever comes out of the tomb with the fire. They pass the fire around everywhere. It doesn't burn. They send it all around the world. It's a huge deal. And so for the Orthodox, Pascha or Easter is going to be on May the 5th. Now, that was the second copper reference. The third copper reference was when they dug out the Dead Sea Scrolls, they actually found a copper tablet that told them that this was the ashes from the previous sacrifice 9 red heifers for the last temple. And that when you do this ritual, you have to have the ashes from the previous sacrifice heifers in order to make this happen. Now, the last temple was destroyed in 70 AD. And since 70 AD, they have been looking for these red heifers. Shock and surprise, they're in America, which should tell you something, but these people don't take hints. They find them in America, they find them in Texas. Let's add another layer to this. Beyonce announced that she has a country album, right? With Beyonce's country album, she put out a picture 2 days ago with her riding this gigantic white horse, flying a huge American flag, and it sent Twitter into shambles, like complete shambles. And so you have her indicating that she herself is going to be the focus of this sacrifice, which she in this case will be representing our women. And so we have to reject this. Obviously, we're not going to be sacrificed. There's nothing you can do. We're not volunteering, we're not contracted, we're not anything. This is why the discussion of these quote unquote spiritual spouses, I believe, was important, because now I'm starting to think that they were contracted to be able to sacrifice us. And so by leaving those contracts wide open, knowingly or unknowingly, we were setting ourselves up for this sacrifice. Now, I know there's people who didn't cancel these contracts or whatever, do whatever you want, but I'm just saying this is what they plan on doing. They're going to sacrifice these red heifers. They're going to sacrifice our women. Beyonce is the face of that sacrifice with this album, and her album comes out on the 29th, and she has sacrificed her quote unquote urban roots for American roots, which where did she even get American roots? She was just Wakanda'd up for not that long ago. So this is a total and complete chicanery that we don't want to be involved in. We don't have to fight this battle. This is not even about fighting. I'm just letting you all know what's going on, what the word on the street is, and what's happening, so that you can keep your eyes out for anybody trying to recontract with you, bring you into this mess, get you to agree to some stuff you don't want to agree to, or whatever it is they're going to try and do. I don't know what it is, because I'm not playing the game with them. I'm so far above these people and what they're doing that they cannot come up to my level in order to get me to agree to participate. And I am just requesting or suggesting that you all also be on this vibration. Now, the information about the Libra new moon is in the Telegram channel, which is in the link below. I'm not going to be making those public anymore now that I have a repository for them, and we're going to move accordingly. But what I will say about the Libra new moon or full moon, not only is it an eclipse, what it's eclipsing out is these people, this professional victims unit entities that have been LARPing as somehow copper colored people so that they could steal our birthright. This is being eclipsed out, and it's nothing that we really have to do. We don't have to participate with this at all. We just have to step back and allow them to do what they're going to do. Ever since I said we not fighting no more, y'all going to have to fight this battle for us. I see all kinds of battles being fought. I never thought in my whole entire life I would get on Twitter and see black people defending a black person carrying an American flag. I've never thought I would see that. And people are like, I hate Beyonce. Don't make me defend Beyonce, but she's an American. Who other flag is she going to fly? She's not none of these other people. And this has really riled up the indigenous Negro community in a way that I've never seen ever. And people are really, really upset that she's carrying this big flag, but it's a country album. What is she going to do? It's an American staple in the South. Like, how do you pretend that it's not? And so it's really weird how people are responding to this, which means that whatever they thought they was doing by putting her out there and hoping people would just totally reject her, you have a whole group of black people that are like, of course she would be waving an American flag. Who other flag is she going to wave? I mean, I guess she could have waved a Texas flag, but she never talks about her Texas heritage. I mean, she didn't really talk because she can't, but allegedly she can't. But what is she going to do? Whose flag is she going to wave? And so it also indicates to us that the time for waving the flag for other people's heritage is over. If you're an indigenous American, be proud of your heritage. Here, whether you're white, yellow, green, or black, don't matter what you are. If you're native to this land and you feel like you are at one with this land, consider yourself a native and wave the flag of your homeland, and don't be getting into it with these people about anything else. That's my suggestion. That's what it seems like to me. And you can take it or leave it. I'm just giving you all the information to be able to understand what's going on. So, look out for these professional victims unit to make this sacrifice on Saturday or Monday, or Tuesday with this moon. Then the priest has to purify himself with the full moon, which is going to be a doozy. Everyone knows about that on April the 8th. And we just have to keep an eye out for what happens from there. I'll be honest, the reason why I'm making this video is because I believe, I get the feeling that if they make this sacrifice with this new moon, that our powers are going to be turned back on. And you're going to see stuff and be able to do stuff you never thought. And I'm only mentioning that because I feel like you should be warned if that does happen. I'm not saying for sure. I'm saying that's the feeling I got, because the playing field will have to be even. Because basically, the person who does this is indicating that they are the quote-unquote Antichrist, and therefore will be some kind of a battle. And we're not going to be entering the battle without our gear. Our spirit team will not allow that. That I know for sure. And therefore, you may have to fight this battle. I don't know. I'm just putting a warning out there because I have no idea what's going to happen. But I get the very strong feeling that if they do this, we're going to get some powers like we've never had. And that whole X-Men thing that they're scared of is going to be coming, and they're not going to be able to control it. Because I'm telling them right now not to do this. We just want to be at peace. We don't want to be involved in all of this. I want to go on vacation and chill. Like, the fact that I have to be involved in this at all, at any level, is really, really annoying. So if they insist on being like this, then, we're not going to have a choice but to get involved. I just would prefer not to get involved because this is none of my business. This has to do with them and what they believe and what contracts they got with their thing. Oh, the last thing I want to mention about this. So the reason why the Christians are pushing this, and they're like, let's bring on this temple. Let's get it done. The Christians believe that this rabbi that's going to sacrifice these red heifers is going to indeed be the Antichrist. And so they believe that before the Antichrist arrives, these Christians are going to be raptured out of here. And they're not going to have to endure what happens next. And so the Christians are pushing for this to happen because they want to hurry up and bring Homeboy Jesus, which Homeboy Jesus is Franklin. Franklin is Fonto. Fonto is evil Jesus, or the Prince of Darkness. So they're trying to hurry up and bring evil Jesus in. And so you have these Christians behaving completely insanely because they're totally taken over by evil Jesus and his, his plans for world domination through these Christians. And so you have a lot of crazy stuff going on. It's really, really trying to make it through this time period without losing it. And so stay even, stay calm. Don't get into arguments with people. Especially on Monday and Tuesday with the full moon, people are going to be acting crazy. Tuesday is our first Sabbath. We need to be cool and keep it chill until then. That's my suggestion. That's my hope. That's what I'm asking you all, to keep it easy, because they're going to be really trying to get us out of character, and it shouldn't work. I know it's not going to work for me because I don't care. This is not my battle to fight, so I'm not required to care, because this is not my battle. Whoever battle this is, we're holding a space of love and light for you, but this is not my battle, because I'm telling them not to do this. I'm advising them not to do this, and it's going to make the Christians go berserk. It's going to make the Muslims go berserk. It's just not going to be good. So I'm giving this to our people as a warning. Hey, they got this plan over here going on. We don't know what they're going to do, so just keep your head up so that you're not caught off guard when the hish starts to hit the fan on Monday and Tuesday, and these people start behaving erratically. So I'll post another update should it be necessary, but this should be enough for people to be aware of what's going on. So Shalom.